poppin' people? Welcome to IDW Deuce. In this journal entry, I'm going to show you how to develop your own sales funnel. Let's get right to it. All right, so first things first, what is a sales funnel? A sales funnel, simply put, is a way for you to capture users and convert them into customers. Now, some of the most successful entrepreneurs will tell you, in order to maintain consistent sales, you need to develop a sales funnel. You need to turn users and traffic into customers. Now, before you're able to do this or develop your sales funnel, what you need to do is have a couple of things in place. First, you need a product or a service. There's no point in developing a funnel if you don't have anything to give to your customers or sell to your customers. So that's the first thing. Second thing is you need a way on how to capture these customers, whether it be a website or some business page on social media. You can develop your own. A lot of people use their social media in their inbox and their DMs to be able to capture their customers. They'll have ads on Facebook or IG and they'll end it with just DM me or just inbox me. And that's well and good while you're starting off, but you also want to begin with the end in mind. You want to figure out a way on how to automate this process because you don't want to create another job for yourself. The point of becoming an entrepreneur is so that you can create something and then you're able to have somebody else manage it while you're off doing whatever, whether it's vacationing or developing another business. So although using your social media mailboxes is cool and all, especially at first, you want to be able to automate this process. So now once you have these things in place, now you have to be able to generate some type of traffic. You need to bring awareness to your product or your service. You could have the best product or service in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then really what good is it? You're not going to get sales. You're not going to get anything because nobody knows about it. So first things first, you need to be able to advertise it. Now, you see companies, they spend billions of dollars a year on advertisement. They buy all the commercials at the Super Bowl or whatever sporting events you can think of. They put a lot of money into it just so they can bring awareness to whatever product they're trying to sell. Now, for most of us that aren't in that billionaire bracket yet, there are a couple of things that we can use to our advantage. Things like social media. Social media is king right now. So you need to be able to utilize that as a tool because there are millions of people on these platforms and that's just more eyes to be on your product. Now, most of these platforms, they're free to sign up. You just have to figure out how to use certain tools. Like on Instagram, they have the Reels function. Now, Reels on Instagram, Reels on Facebook, right now it's a real hot button issue because they're trying to compete with TikTok, which is taking the world by storm. That's another platform that you could use. Twitter as well, Pinterest. You name it. Any social media platform you can use as advertisement for your products. You just have to know how to use them. Back to the Reels. Facebook and Instagram are pushing Reels big time right now. Now, Reels are usually a minute or less. And so you have to develop your best elevator pitch. You need to be able to sell your product in 1 minute or less and get creative with it. You want it to catch people's eye. If you want people to buy your product, make them excited about it. You can tell them about it and be bland, but put something nice together to showcase it. Make people want to buy your product or want to take advantage of your service. Tell them the advantages, the benefits, everything. Like whatever you can, do it. If you could do it within a minute or less, that'd be awesome. Because the Reels function, they purposely try to generate traffic because obviously the more you're on their platform, the more ad revenue they're able to get. So they actually want you to go viral, but people have to want to watch your content. So make it easy for them, make it eye-catching. You'll see the benefits. It'll start driving traffic to wherever it is you want it to go, whether it's your inbox or if you have a website. Now, along with Reels, there is a trick that you can do within Instagram that I've actually learned myself is where you post rather than adding as a reel. Now, when you post, you could do something called boosting. Boosting is pretty much where it's broadcast to a broader audience when you publish it. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's not much. You could spend $20 and have your post boosted for 5-6 days, and that's just more people with more eyes on your product or your service. So, and in the end, it's well worth it. See, if you're spending $20 on an Instagram boost and you make $200 in sales, then I mean, there you go. Like I said before, companies spend billions of dollars on advertisement. You can spend $20 to boost your IG post. You probably spend more than that going to lunch every day. So why don't you skip lunch, drink some water or something one day, and go ahead and help your business out and advertise. You can do the same thing on Facebook. Facebook is still the largest of all the social media platforms, so you want to utilize that to your advantage because everybody's on Facebook, whether it's young adults, older adults, because the older adults, they're not on TikTok yet. Like me, I'm really not on TikTok. So if you have a product and you're putting it on TikTok, I'm more than likely not going to see it. I'm more the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube crowd. So you have to know your audience. You have to know what they're looking at. If your product is geared towards the younger generation, then TikTok might be the move for you. But for people like me, the older establishment, Facebook and IG is where we live. So just keep that in mind. Now that people are aware of your product, this is where that part where I was talking about in the beginning comes into play about having a place to capture your users. Now, like I said, you can use social media. Facebook actually has Meta Business Suites where they've made it real easy for you. So you don't actually need to have a website. You can utilize those tools for the Meta Business Suite, and that's free. You have a free inbox. You have your contacts. So you can actually do business on Facebook. But myself, for my business, I prefer to have a website. I utilize Wix, which is a platform that helped me set up my website. I mean, I'm pretty tech savvy, so it wasn't so hard for me, but I'd recommend it to even somebody that isn't tech savvy because it's pretty easy to set up. You don't have to code or anything like that. You just have to pretty much know what you want. I mean, I have another video where I'm gonna go into detail about how to set up a website, but for me, I used Wix. I set up my website. I mean, if you wanna take a look at it, it's www.qavending.com. I mean, I set that site up myself. I have a couple of pages on there. It's for my vending machine business. I do a couple cool things there. So if you want an example of what I mean by being able to capture your users, when you go to my website, there are options for you to sign up for the services that I'm offering. And that way I have your name, I have your number, I have your email address, I have whatever it is you came to my website for, whether it's for a vending service or you're looking for locator service, I have that available. Now, you can just use that as an example for the business that you're actually trying to run. If you want to set up a website, then like I said, I'll have a video going into detail about that. And if you have questions now, you can just leave it in the comments and I'll make sure that I add that content into the video that I'm going to do. The website is what I use to capture the users and convert them into customers. That's where I direct all my traffic to, whether it's my social media, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. You'll see anytime I'm talking about my vending business, I direct them to my QA vending website. That's where everything happens. That's where the magic happens, baby, on my website, where I capture all their data and they're able to sign up for whatever services that I'm offering. All right. Now, once you have them on your website or wherever it is you direct them to, you want to make sure you incentivize making that purchase because some people, they need a little convincing. Maybe they're interested in your product, but they're not quite there yet. This is where you're able to give them incentives. Incentives can be in any form of ways, whether you're offering a free workshop, a free ebook, or you're offering your services at a discount. Once they're onto your website and they've signed up, you have their data. So if you're running a promotion or if there's information that you want to send out that will help them get to that purchase point, then you can set up email campaigns where every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however you want to do it, you're sending them more information. So the more they see it, if they're really interested, then they'll go ahead and make the purchase. You want to be able to build some type of relationship because when you have a product or a service, for people to want to buy from you, you have to develop that trust. You have to build some type of relationship. You have to make them feel comfortable purchasing from you. You don't want them to make the purchase feel like they're obligated to make a purchase. No, you don't want to do that. If you want to build a consistent customer base, you want them to trust you. They want to be able to buy freely and willingly. So you want to make that as easy as possible for them. Give them a deal. Give them something free. It doesn't have to be anything that's going to be of great expense to you. You just offer advice. Like as far as my vending business, what I do is on my Facebook page, I'm in a number of groups. So on top of me telling people about my service, if they have questions, I gotta answer it for them, whether they're asking me directly or if they're just posting their questions. I do my best to go ahead and try to answer so that they have that trust. So they see when they become familiar with my logo or my name or my business name, they say, oh, okay, this is the guy that helped me with this, or this is the guy that helped me with that. Like I've built that type of trust. So when I tell them like, well, I have this service, if you'd like to utilize it, go to my website. And that's how you build relationships. That's how you build trust. Of course, I want to make money, but I also want to help people. I provide the service for more than just, okay, I want to get paid. I'm actually genuinely trying to help people. If you have a product or you have a service, just do your best to try to add as much value to your product or service as possible. The more value you add, the more likely people are to trust you and want to buy from you and keep buying from you. And honestly, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You have a product, you advertise your product, you have to figure out a way to capture all those users. You have a website, and on that website, that's where they're able to purchase your product or your service. Real easy concept to grasp. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. And like I said, I'm gonna have that video on how I brought up my website. So if you have questions or you have anything specific that you'd like for me to cover in that video, just let me know and I'll be sure to add that in there. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next journal entry. Deuces.